Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Wood Division Decisions. I'm your host Boken, and today we'll be working on episode 2 of my series here, which is going to be Annie. And today we're going to be taking Annie into the jungle. Now I've done a few games. I wouldn't necessarily call them all failed, but I like to upload videos where at least I do something. And there's quite a few games where I either get behind and I'm not very useful, or I don't really necessarily get behind, but I don't really necessarily have a lot of impact. So I've done this for a little while, and I can honestly say, don't do Jungle Annie. It's worthless. It's bad. It's really bad. I feel like I actually have less trouble in the games than I do convincing my teammates that I'm not actually trolling in Champion Select, which is probably a bad sign by itself. But if you can get Annie a little bit ahead in the early game, or at least even, then she does become a ganking monster. Annie's always ridiculous with her flash, Tibbers, WQ, just blow everything kind of deal. Does a lot of burst damage. It can be really nice. Annie in the jungle, that doesn't really change. It's just that, surprise Annie can happen from anywhere, and you don't necessarily need a flash. Of course, having a flash makes it stronger. I still don't recommend it. The initial clear is abysmal, and if you have anybody who's good at counter jungling, you will probably get destroyed. We're going against a Mumu jungle. He's not really an early game counter jungler, so I'm not too scared, but he could still do it. Annie's probably the weakest jungle I've ever played, so he could still do it, especially with the nerf of the Runeglaive, which is what Annie goes for. It's harder, but by the time you get the Runeglaive, you've already done your initial clears. We've got a Tryndamere top. Looks like he's going against a Volibear. Tryndamere took a Ignite against a Volibear. That could go either way. I think it might go in the Tryndamere's favor early, but later Volibear should be able to out-tank him. We got a Draven Thresh on the enemy team. That could be kind of dangerous. We'll see how well the Draven plays. Draven's going to absolutely crap on Annie. I can only ever gank when I have a stun up and potentially a flash. They've got a Misfortune Blitzcrank, 2 hook champions, but in my opinion, Draven can be much stronger than Misfortune, but we'll see how it goes. Mid lanes, we got a Veigar, Syndra. Honestly, that can go either way. The zoning potential from Veigar is very good. The amount of burst damage he can do is amazing. He could one-shot me easily, could one-shot Syndra, but Syndra's got a little bit more range, might be able to take him out. She also has a decent stun. So I guess it just kind of depends on how the game goes. Right now we're still waiting in Champion Select. So I'll talk a little bit about Jungle Annie. Well, first of all, you want to get not the Hunter's Machete, but the other part of the jungle item. I can't remember what it's called now. And you want to get a couple of potions. Now, she really does lack sustain, and sustain in the jungle is really good, but I've found that you really do want those potions. I'll go ahead and post links to the masteries and the runes that I used. I do use the increased mana for potions, because mana is really, really tight in the early game. I think I take a little bit more the Cunning Tree than I do the Ferocity, if I remember correctly. I tried a couple of iterations, things like that, just to see what I could do. Definitely took Oppressor, I know I did that, and I usually like to go Red Smite. I figure Tracker Smite or Red Smite are both good. Red Smite for the little bit of extra damage during your burst combo. Trackers would be good because, you get to have a little bit more wards, and you can have maybe a sweeper. I find the Red Smite a little bit better. I don't think Blue Smite's very good on her, because you're not very rarely chasing someone down, and if you are, you're usually using a stun to do it. She's more about burst than she is sustain, so the kiting or the anti-kiting isn't necessarily really good on her, so I tend not to focus on that. In the early game, what you want to do is, if you can get a leash on Gromp, you almost always have to go blue, unfortunately. You're just pretty much crippled otherwise, and you pretty much expect to either be counter-jungled or invaded. One of those two, which I guess you can consider them the same thing, but I don't expect to get red on Annie, and if you do, great. Ganking before 6 is tough. You can do it, but, it's hit or miss how good it is. Like I said, that would be the Hunter's Talisman. That's what I meant to say. I get a couple of potions here, and I go ahead and get this. Now, the one thing that you do want to do with Annie is you want to take W first, and you want to build it up to 4 stacks while you're in your base, and you can get your mana back. It does an insane amount of mana at level 1, and the worst part about Annie, in my opinion, is that every time you level up one of her abilities, it increases in mana cost, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But once we get the runic echoes, that should help a little bit with our mana, and that will carry us a little bit. Now I've got a stun built up. I am going to use it on this this first mob. I am going to ask for some help with it. I do have to be a little bit wary of an invade. That can happen at any moment, even in the first early levels. If I was playing against an Annie jungle, invading is absolutely what I would do. So I definitely want to be wary here. Okay. So Strinamir is going to be a bro and help us leash. If for some reason you don't get a leash, just go straight to blue. The initial stun really helps, and honestly, what I like to get second is the shield, just to help build up the stun and do a little bit of damage while they're hitting me. It's not super necessary for Annie. Now, I do start off with a smite as soon as I possibly can. I do it even before I get the stun off if I can help it. And that's just because you want it up for the end of the blue buff. Oh, and of course I failed on doing just that. Now, I'm tanking a little bit of the damage here. It's not a big deal. I'm going to chug a potion. Oh, that's alright. And now we're going to go ahead and take this shield, and now begins the kiting. So when you want to kite this, you want to remember that the reset mechanic for this buff depends on where you are, not where it is. So you just have to be kind of wary of that. I like to try and use my shield whenever I'm walking by them. And then right now I'm just going to get the stun off, run over here. Now you can see I'm taking very little damage. I use my shield here just so I get a little bit of extra damage. And really take a little bit more poke there. Oh, took an extra auto attack. Didn't want to take that. I don't have enough mana for that. That's okay. Now what we're going to do here is actually we're going to wait out the smite just so that we can get that extra little bit of damage. Now what I'm going to do here is get a stun off, and then we're going to just go ahead and attack this crab. Now even with the blue buff, you can't really spam your abilities because Annie is mana hungry, early game especially. But we are going to go ahead and get this crab buff, take it away from the Amumu. The Amumu probably started his blue as well, and I expect that my jungle on the bot side is fairly countered. We did get a kill early, pretty much exactly what I said would happen. Alright, get a little bit of poke in there. Now you can kite these guys a little bit. I do like to get these guys low enough to kill them with one of those. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get this wolf. I am going to use this shield, but I'm not going to use the W to finish him off. Get my Q. Now, there is definitely some counterplay, some play we can do here. I'm actually going to use my shield, use my Q, and then use my W, just to get a little bit extra damage there. I could have actually gotten the stun off on the W, but I didn't do that. Now, one thing that is important to note on Annie is that if you can kill something with your Q, you get the mana back for it, which, with someone who's as mana hungry as she is, that's really nice. Oh, and I didn't get it. Well, that's alright. I still had blue buff for a little bit. Now, I'm going to ward here. It looks like the lanes are doing okay. I don't really care that I missed the bush, because really what I'm worried about is just Amumu coming in. This is a little bit dangerous. You can't kite this guy near as easily as you can the other guy. Okay. Use that for the damage. And then I'll smite for the last hit. Now she can do a full clear if you do okay in the kiting. I like to max my W first. I'm going to actually kill the small guy first, get a stun off. Now I am running a little bit low on mana, so I am going to use my Q to get the mana back. I want to use my shield first here, then the Q, then the W for the stun, and a smite. There we go. Alright, so I did a full clear. It wasn't bad. I got pretty low, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get the red item. We're going to go for the runic echoes. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to get probably get boots first, but I'm actually not going to do that. I'm actually going to get the first AP item just so that I get a little bit more damage, a little bit better cleared. Now, I could go in for a gank right now, depending on where we are. I'm obviously coming back from base, so I'm pretty healthy. I've got my flash up. I've got my stun up. Anytime you go back to base, by the way, as Annie, and you don't have your stun built up, you can always get a little bit of stun, you know, a little bit of abilities off. Doesn't look like anybody's really pushed up enough. He's kind of on the opposite side. She is level 6, so if I could get him, that'd be good. Let me go ahead and see about this. Now I am wasting a little bit of time. I should be farming, but I really want to try and get this guy. Okay, so she did not get the kill. That's okay. Okay, so Amumu is going to be in their jungle somewhere. I'm going to get out. So I kind of wasted my time there. I'm not too happy about that. But, you know, that is what it is. She kind of went in a little early, even though I said I was coming in. She could have waited. She didn't. I mean, she thought she could get it, so, you know, it's fine. Go ahead and get that for the smite bonus. And then we'll go down here and get the Krugs again. Now, I will go ahead and start with all my abilities there. We'll be using a lot of mana, and again, that's going to be a frequent problem here with Annie, is that she just is so mana hungry. And as you can see, I'm taking quite a bit of damage. And now I have to go back. So I don't have my full stun built up, so what I am going to do is I am going to use an ability while I'm in base. It doesn't really matter which one, because we'll probably get that back. I'm also going to go ahead and grab a potion here in 3 seconds. I'll go ahead and get my shield, and then we'll go back and get my blue buff. Now, as you can see, I haven't been very impactful. I'm not level 6 yet. The Mumu is, last we saw him, he was level 3, but he could be any level. But we've got laners who are level 7, bot lane's level 6. We are a little bit behind. That's Annie. She doesn't have very good clear. We're going to be, he just looks like he just warded down there. I do have to be careful. We're going to be doing a gank here fairly soon. Oh, I thought that would kill it. And even though I could potentially tank this damage, I am going to try not to as much as I can. Alright, let's see here. Probably want to get this crab. Oh boy. So, looks like he's not able to be killed right now. He's too high for me. He's coming down here to try and get a gank. Okay, now I'm going to get that. I do not have my stun up. Okay, that was bad. I got to flash out. Okay. Okay, I did a stun, but it wasn't enough. I did get flipped by the volley there. It's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to go ahead and get a stun off, but I managed to get flipped and stunned. Honestly, if the Tryndamere had actually done something during the stun, he might have gotten a kill, but he couldn't have known that I was going to get the stun off before I died, so it's kind of my own fault there. Go ahead and build up my stun a little bit. I actually am going to go ahead and see about how much more I got for this. Yep. and I'll get a pink. So this volley is being a little silly. He can't really fight her right now. He's gonna get out, I think. Yeah, he's getting out. So we're not gonna be able to catch him, unfortunately. She might catch him, but there's nothing that we could do to help. Alright. Now we've got a stun up. I say we go bot lane. Red buff doesn't really do a ton on Annie. Like I said, she's not an auto attack champion. The burn is nice, but you're really only going to get a few seconds of it if you do your job right. Really depends how you look at it. We'll see if we can. Looks like they're backing off, so I don't think that we're going to get anything there. Just go back to farming. We are close to getting our runic echoes, which will help our mana in the early game quite a bit. Looks like the Syndra is not doing as well as she could. Go ahead and alright, so now we've got our stun up. We've got not too healthy, but we could definitely do something. Looks like we've got a fight going on. So we're going to go ahead and try and flash. Okay, so they weren't ready for the follow-up there, unfortunately. I could have probably done better. I could have gotten a smite off, and I could have gotten my Q off on Draven. It actually did quite a bit of damage to Mumu. But unfortunately, they weren't ready to follow up. Could have pinged, but they also could have realized that I was coming in. We are going to get a tower out of it at least, which isn't bad. I'm going to go ahead and save my abilities here just in case I wind up needing the stun. I don't. Okay, and let's go ahead and get the dragon. So I'm going to drop my pink here just to make sure that there's no wards in here. They don't know we're doing it just yet. Okay, the thresh is coming down. Alright, we've got enough. Alright, so we got a free kill on the Thresh by baiting him in. My smite was actually really bad that time. Oh, he's gonna get out. Wow, what was that? I don't know what that was, but that wasn't great. Okay, got him. Looks like he's going to get away, most likely. She should go ahead and E over there. Can you get him? Can you get him with the E? Got it. Alright. And then we've got a Mumu. I'm going to go this way. And got a triple kill. Well, could have gone better, but for now I just want to get out before I get hit by the Draven ulti, which could very well happen. I have a feeling that this bush is warded because Thresh flashed back there. So I'm actually going to come back here and I might be able to kill these guys. This is kind of risky. I really shouldn't be doing this, but I got a stun up. And I've got smite up in a second. So got it. Alright. It was silly. Didn't have to do that, but I wanted it. So did pretty well there. We managed to get quite a few kills there, which means that we've got quite a bit to live up to now. So let's see if we can make use of that. Now I am going to get the Sork shoe boots right away. After that, Annie really doesn't need a whole lot of damage. I'm probably going to wind up getting a Zanya's just so that I could stay a little safe. And I probably will pick up another pink. I doubt that pink will last very long. And I want to throw one deeper into their jungle. Now my blue is up. Syndra doesn't really look like she needs... Oh, okay, well, is she going to make it? Well, this, I don't know. She's going to have to flash to get out of this one. I don't think she's going to make it. Yeah, I do have my flash up. Got a kill. Go ahead and get my stun up again. Okay. Got another kill. Alright. Now this Thresh should be dead. Good. I didn't really want to take that, but I was afraid he might get away. I am going to take that, though. Those are mine. And there we go. So, doing pretty well. That was a nice little flash Tibbers combo. We didn't get what's his name? The Thresh in that combo, but we did go ahead and get the Amumu, which is the one who is pressuring pretty hard. Thresh doesn't really have any damage at the moment. Got a stun off. Got that mana back. Alright, so we're actually getting more mana back now than we are with... I could probably do a little bit more here. We're getting more mana back than our Q cost, which is nice when we kill something with our Q. Go ahead and try getting that mana back again. Good. Alright, now go ahead and get this wolf. Okay. Good. Now we're going to back here. We did lose, looks like we lost bot tower. Looks like they came in pretty hard. We're not going to be able to stop that no matter what we do, so that's fine. That'll happen sometimes. Start building more into our Zhonya's. Can't get needlessly with it. Well, we did destroy a turret. That was really close, but not quite close enough. I don't like leaving base with this much gold, but pretty much have to. Now this Draven is kind of going off. Do have to be a little bit careful of him. He's 4-2. I could definitely get him with a nice flash combo, but my flash is down. One thing I will probably do after I get my Zhonya's, maybe even before, is get Distortion. I just don't want to... yeah, that's most likely warded. There's no sense walking that. Go ahead and get this... get our mana back, no problem. Starting to be a lot easier now. I'll throw a ward in there. Missed actually who I was aiming the Q for. That's alright. Now we've got a stun up. We've got our flash up in a minute. Looks like there's something going on mid. Oh, nice catch. He should be dead. Yeah, he's dead. I'm gonna come... doesn't look like I can really do much. Okay, we can Tibbers. Good. And that was a little bit dangerous. We actually have a stun for Thresh. So we'll go ahead and get them with the stun. Good. And Tibbers does the work. So it looks like this Volibear... Oh, nice. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get another dragon. Have Tibbers tank it. For a few more seconds at least. You can actually see your Tibbers timer down here. You can direct where he goes also by hitting R again after he's out, and it will go in the direction you ask it to, which is kind of nice. I'm not going to smite this. I really don't think I need... I will just to be safe, and then get the... Well, I didn't have enough mana for the Q. Amumu is chasing the Syndra. It doesn't look like he's going to get there. Oh god, that was bad. Nobody saw that. Okay, looks like Syndra took him out. It's good. Since we know that he's not in the game, we're going to pretend like I didn't ever make that shitty ward. But since we know that he's not in the game, I was going to go get the red, but of course they saw me. so I don't want anything to do with that. Let's go ahead and warn them that I'm not going in on that, just in case. I've got my Zanyas. I'm close to getting distortion, another 50 gold. I would stay for it, but I don't want to risk it right now. Oh man, that Draven's dead. Yep, that's a dead Draven. It's a good hook by Thresh. I'm going to go ahead and hold this bot lane. One thing that when you're jungling on any champion, even though on Annie I really want to do some work, and I am pretty fed, the problem is though is that you do have to watch the towers, you do have to watch the, your job is basically everything. So if your laner's missing and they don't need you, absolutely make sure that you're getting the covering, I should say. Okay, so now I might have to go in. I've got a stun ready. This Vigar, I should be able to kill him. Yeah, I didn't really need to waste an ult there, but I wasn't going to let him get away or get me with his ult if he just was able to get his ult off. Alright, well, that's a surrender. That was a really quick game. As you could see, if you get a little bit ahead on Annie jungle, she can do okay. I still don't recommend it. There are so many champions that do what she does, but better. There's tankier jungles that, like a Mumu or Sejuani, that can stun an entire team like that, and then you can have some follow-up from people that know how to follow up. If you're looking for a really good burst magic champion, Nidalee and even Elise have much better early game. Even if you're just looking for burst, you've got a Lee Sin, still pretty darn good. There's lots of early game burst. What's her name? The wolf sheep chick. I can't even remember her name. Anyways, Kindred, there you go. There's lots of better champions to do basically what she does, but better, clears better. But she can be pretty scary when you have an Annie come up behind you and all of a sudden you're stunned. Misplayed a lot, mostly with my wards. There was some really terrible ward placements this entire game from me. But otherwise, we seem to do okay. And yeah, so thank you again for watching Wood Division Decisions, and I'll see you in the next part of this episode.